just visualize anything inside of their home, see how much it costs to do that, and click a button to get it repaired.
Wow.
That's the future of where we're going, the future of home ownership. And brought to you by REMAX, it's going to be our secret weapon where it's like we have all of these resources to help the consumer, not only during the transaction, but long after as well.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting development at REMAX. And I'll be showing off some of that on stage.
Oh, fun.
This week.
That really makes us full service though. And I don't know of any other brokerages that
Homeownership. And brought to you by REMAX, it's going to be our secret weapon where it's like we have all of these resources to help the consumer, not only during the transaction, but long after as well.
Yeah. Welcome to the Dispatch on Purpose. I'm your host, Amy Dahl, and I am excited. We are broadcasting today from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is my first podcast in a whole series this week where we interview global REMAX agents from all around the world that are coming together to celebrate the REMAX brand. We're going to learn, we're going to network, and we're going to have a great time. And today I have a very special guest straight from Denver, Colorado, Travis Saxton. And Travis, you are not an agent. You are with REMAX Corporate, the Executive Vice President of Strategy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. And I'm honored to be here. Loving my job, like literally living the dream right now. And I couldn't have scripted my first 12 months any better. And I'm sure we're going to get into that.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, thank you first. Your schedule is insane this week. And so the fact that you gave us an hour to sit down and talk is really, really exciting. So you kind of touched on it. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I live in Denver with my 3 daughters and my wife. I got a 9, 8, and 3-year-old, so I'm definitely like right in the thick of it.
You are a girl dad.
Yeah, I am a girl dad. All beautiful, all healthy and happy, and they still cherish and worship their dad, which is pretty awesome.
I know that feeling.
So yeah, it's a pretty good time to be in the Saxton household.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have 3 boys, so I'm in the thick of it, same ages, and it is really nice. They still like me right now.
Yes.
And so you moved to Denver.
Actually, no, I've lived in Denver for about 20 years now. I was a consultant in the industry. I started out at Real Trends.
Yep.
And they were acquired by Housing Wire. I ran their technology and marketing practice for about 8 years. And then I spent 1 year inside of a SaaS company, BombBomb, who you're probably very familiar with. I actually created the REMAX Housing Market Report at BombBomb.
Oh, wow.
In the 1 year that I was there, we saw some pretty rapid growth. We went from about 40 employees to 120 employees in that 1 year. So it was a really fun ride. But I did miss the consulting side. I missed the brokerage side of the business. And so BombBomb was a client of T360.
I'm familiar.
And that's how I ended up at T360. And so I got to know the leadership there, and we hit it off really well. And for the last 9 years before joining REMAX, I was leading their technology and marketing consulting. One of my little kind of claim to fames that most people don't know is almost every ranking in the residential real estate space I created, whether it was America's Best Real Estate Agents, the 1000, the Mega 1000. I had a big hand in a lot of the rankings that our agents interact with.
And we all push out on social media as soon as they come out.
Yes, almost every single one of them. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Kind of
what
ironic.
A fun fact. Yeah. So then you came over, it was January, I believe, of last year, right?
That's right. Yes, I actually met Eric Carlson, the CEO of REMAX, about 2 years ago. He was fresh, from Dish Networks.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was brand new then.
Brand new. So I think he was maybe 3 months in, something like that. And he came to my conference, saw me speak, and he knew he wanted to surround himself by people that understood the industry. And so he tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, come in, tell us, are we going in the right direction from a strategy, innovation, and technology perspective?
Yeah.
And, I came in, I did a huge analysis, looked at all of the strengths and weaknesses of REMAX. And ultimately, being honest, we weren't going in the right direction. And so I wrote a playbook. This is your path forward. This is how REMAX gets back on top, and put a lot of energy in it. It took about 6 months, and I presented it in about 15 months ago now. And the whole executive leadership team really liked the playbook a lot. And Eric approached me and was kind of beat it around the bush, and he's like, hey, I need somebody to come in and literally run your playbook. Like we are going to, to a T follow this because we think it's, something that's pretty great. And now you're starting to see this unfold today. So fast forward, Eric put a full court press on me, and I decided to join REMAX. And there was a couple factors that led me to this. One was I had enough time with Eric. Usually my guard's up too when there's new leadership.
Absolutely.
And so I got 9 months with Eric. Right away, I was like, oh, he's bright, he's energetic, he's smart, but he's from outside the industry, and I've seen it a million times in my role as a consultant across the space, where they just don't quite, integrate into the fabric of the industry, and how our industry operates is so much different than most industries with independent contractors and just the associations and MLSs, and then you've got the brands and the franchises. It's really complicated. And so I watched Eric from afar, and then after about 9 months, I was like, that's a guy that I can get behind.
I can follow
And so
that.
I lived about 12 minutes from headquarters this whole time.
Oh, wow.
I don't even have to get on a main road to get to headquarters. And that's pretty awesome.
That was meant to be.
And I have always had a very strong affinity for the REMAX brand. As I mentioned, I created the REMAX Housing Market Report, but I also bought and sold 3 homes through Brad Whitehouse in Denver. And so he was my personal agent and broker. And my family would get dressed up every year for their Halloween or their holiday fest. And the REMAX balloon would be up, and my daughters just loved it. And so for the first time in my career, my daughters actually know what I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, he works at REMAX, he works for, for the balloon, and it's pretty cool. They sell real estate. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And T360, for our audience who doesn't know, is a consulting firm that consults with brokerages across the country. And unless you were in the industry, you would never know that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the unique thing that gives me, as far as my background and experience, both at Real Trends and at T360, is no 2 days were the same there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I got to, as I rose the ranks and kind of climbed into the industry, by the time I was in my last year or two, a couple years of T360, I was in almost every major boardroom from every one of our competitors as well, helping them navigate their technology strategies, understanding where they're going. And that's almost like I have dog years of experience in real estate, because one of my years I'd be doing multiple, $1 million projects and helping large organizations kind of correct their path and go down the right path. And so now I get to apply that at REMAX, which you're seeing that unfold. And you might even be thinking, wow, how have they done so much in 1 year? And it has been a heck of a year.
It has. It's busy and exciting. I will agree with you. 22 years at REMAX, and I'm a broker owner, so I should never say this, but we were getting a little stale, I think. We get comfortable. I would say we're comfortable. Yeah. And the world and the market and technology was evolving around us. But I, in the last year, have never been more excited about where our brand is going, ever. And it's just exciting to watch things continue to roll out and the new technology. And sometimes I think we're even the industry's best kept secret, because unless you're in it, you don't realize the technology that REMAX has employed and given us as agents and brokers. So talk a little bit about your playbook.
Yeah, so the playbook, obviously, if you look at data, the data was telling the story. That actually is not a secret that we were getting a little stale. Agent count was dropping. We needed to do something to, reconfigure the value proposition. And so immediately I came in and we knew we needed to add valuable components of to our value proposition. So we started to focus on things that were going to make agents more productive, that were going to help them win listings, save time, make more money. And we're all aligned around this. But we also knew that as we were looking into the future, we knew that AI was going to be a big part of our future. Yep. And I've got 14 AI projects happening right now. And we'll talk about some of them on stage tomorrow or throughout the week here. So a lot of cool things happening with AI.
I get to convince you to spill some?
Oh, yeah, okay,
Good.
absolutely, yeah. So we'll go over some of those. But really, I saw this amazing brand, and I saw 52 years of legacy, but also in 120 countries, 145,000 agents, and I really wanted to harness the power of the brand.
Yeah.
And it used to be that we give our brokers a balloon and some technology, but I really wanted to help and be prescriptive. When you think of other franchises, think of Mercedes-Benz, or you can go even kind of more mainstream like a McDonald's or something like that. They don't sit back and be like, here's an M, and you know what, show up to work and see how it works. No, they want to really put the energy into how do we weaponize that brand? How do we get that brand out there? And how do we make sure that we're utilizing the brand to our max extent? And I'll use a couple examples. One of the first things that I saw was amazing brand, amazing marketing. And early on, this would have been just 3 months in, we had signed Connor McDavid, which was a spokesperson for REMAX Canada. He's a hockey player. He just played in the Olympics this morning against Team USA. And I thought to myself, man, imagine if all of the Canadian agents that are so proud of Canadian hockey had elements or commercials or branding or hockey sticks or hockey pucks, taking also not just digital, but going into the physical world. And could really harness that power. And we gave them that toolbox for them to really to weaponize this brand. And so that is what we built with Marketing as a Service, and now being rebranded here to REMAX Marketing Studio. And the exciting thing is we're adding a ton of stuff in there. Now we're adding Canva into the Marketing Studio.
I saw that.
That's
on
a new
schedule.
announcement. That's coming as well. But lots of automation, lots of lead generation, and then non-listing, a ton of non-listing related marketing. So the whole brand store and the whole Marketing Studio is just getting a massive facelift in the next couple days. And obviously we've been building this for some time, and it's working. It's driving proof points that we're very keen on. 3x more visitors, 5 times more engagement, and then 6 times more interactions on our listing detail pages. That's gold for us, and we're very big on
for us
driving driving results. I think Eric wants to be able to quantify everything that we do, and we want to be able to generate over 20% of an agent's business from all different angles, whether it's winning more listings, generating the leads for them, or just saving them time so that they can go out and prospect and build their business. So we're very big on that.
That is awesome.
So lots of stuff there to unpack, but we'll go deeper.
Yeah. Okay. So give me some of the things that are coming up, the exciting stuff.
Yeah, so very exciting stuff. As I mentioned, Canva's rolling out.
Yep.
I'm a very big proponent of a new strategy that's rolling out here tomorrow called REMAX Golf Lifestyles, part of a REMAX Lifestyle series.
Yep.
And this is really an aspiration or elevation of the REMAX brand, allowing us to kind of tie into media, leads, a professional certification for agents that like or live around the golf communities. And then a lot of thought leadership and technology and tools. It's a full system that is all packaged together, that if I'm an agent and I want to be selling homes in golf course properties, which equates to about $147 billion industry, just the homes that touch golf courses in the United States and Canada. And so we'll be launching REMAX Golf Lifestyles. We've got a media partner, USA Today and Golf Week magazine.
Nice.
We've got all kinds of really cool discounts and partnerships already built, and marketing and leads rolling in too. So we acquired a company called Golf Life Navigators. They're based out of Florida, and they basically were like eHarmony for matching real estate consumers with the right golf course and the right agent.
Nice.
And so they played in this kind of triangle there between agent, consumer, and golf course.
Right.
So we acquired them. They generate several thousand leads a month, and we're gonna really amplify this and put this into a turnkey package. But once we build that, then we want to recreate that for equestrian and pickleball and yachting and skiing and every other lifestyle you could imagine. So we're going to take a little bit of time to perfect the certification, perfect the marketing, and then launch all those other lifestyles maybe a little closer to the end of the year. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Okay. I'm going to make my plug for an aviation one.
Oh, okay. Yes, actually, that has come up several times.
Is it really?
Yeah, grass strips or private
Yeah.
aviation, residential
Yeah.
housing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's actually come up already.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and I
so
actually
funny.
have my pilot's license.
Do you?
Yeah, very ironic. I went to the University of North Dakota.
Okay.
And I was an aviation student. Got my private pilot's license. Was doing my instrument rating and some of my commercial ground stuff when
Yeah.
9/11 happened. And so it kind of changed or altered the course of my career. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I
Yeah.
love what I do.
what you do.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, we're an aviation family, so we would be
nice.
the first one to sign up. So very
Nice.
cool. All right. So what else do we have coming new?
All right, so I will be up on stage, and I mentioned the 14 different AI projects. I will be talking about 7 of them. And we launched Max just several months ago. Is
Yep.
a lead nurture, lead conversion AI assistant for our agents, and then Sky will be launched here at the event too, which will be an agent's productivity assistant. It will do things inside of their CRM. It will write emails for them. It will create graphics for them. And for the brokers, it will help them recruit, onboard, retain agents. And it acts as one single source of truth to be our traffic cop, if you will, or an intranet of the future.
Yeah.
And it's how agents will interact with all of our brand materials and our tools as well. So we used to have Max Center, little historic, little archaic maybe.
Yeah.
That will be going away, and Sky will be coming in and sitting on top of it. It'll still have a place for some technical stuff, but Sky will be what we interact with. And it's very clean, very Google-like, very ChatGPT-like.
Nice.
And so that will be how we actually log into our systems, how we ask it, any new education or training. Well, also when there's new things that happen, we call it at headquarters our innovation drumbeat, and we're very focused on it. Every month we want to progress our systems and tools so that there's new stuff coming, and it might not always be a new launch. We don't just throw a bunch of stuff out there, but what we do is we stack things.
Yeah.
So for example, inside of marketing as a service, or our new marketing studio, we are adding both Realtor.com and Zillow. With one click, you can boost your listing on both websites.
Wow.
And then we'll also be adding boosted listings onto REMAX.com. So now, as an agent, I can control how much exposure I want to dial up or dial down inside of our own marketing platform across the whole industry. I don't have to have contracts. I get major screaming discounts too.
Yeah.
And ultimately, between REMAX.com, Realtor.com, and Zillow, you're going to have 3 of the most trafficked websites in the industry. And I can just click a button and watch my listings go. And so that's coming here at the event.
That's really exciting, 'cause I don't think I know as a realtor, all those individual contracts that agents at other brokerages are paying for Zillow showcase listings and paying to get your stuff on Realtor.com, and they'll pull from the general MLS feed too. But funny enough, last night we were just talking about another agent was telling me how excited they were about this whole subscription that they're paying for on a monthly basis, and it's got different people have you AI chats inside of that subscription, and one will answer your email, and one will do this for you, and one will lead gen for you, and one funnels those leads to another one, and all those different people. But REMAX is offering that, and it's free as a REMAX agent because it's inside of our system and our network.
And it's even getting better and better every day.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of people, those that have tried the marketing studio, even just a month ago, how fast it's evolving. The list could go on and on, but at this event, just in our marketing studio alone, Realtor.com integrated, Zillow integrated, Canva integrated. You're going to see testimonials and reviews integrated, housing market reports integrated into the system. And so it's everything you need as an agent to market yourself, market your business, and grow. So I'm excited about the marketing studio.
Gosh, I am excited too. As somebody who has a lot of those different contracts and is always trying to stay on top of AI.
And this is actually a tip of the hand, if you will.
Yeah.
As we look at the strategy behind all of this, it seems like, okay, marketing studio, that's cool, but where does it fit in the overall vision for REMAX? And while others in the industry, some of our competitors might go private, off market, want to double side the deal, like those kinds of things. We actually want to go the exact opposite.
Yep.
We believe at REMAX, more eyeballs equals more exposure equals more listings equals more engagement.
Yes.
And ultimately the list goes on and on there, but more equals a higher average sales price and lower days on market. And
Yes.
we want to win in that camp. We want to win. We want to own that story. And that is actually why we're doing all of this. The ability for an agent to push a button, to walk into any listing presentation that they have and go, I can put you on the map with your listing.
Yeah.
And our competitors, while they're going the opposite direction, wanting to hold this internally, what would you rather have, dear Mr. or Mrs. Seller? And so that's our story, our consumer advocacy, consumer first. Well, more exposure equals higher sales price. And studies have actually shown this, from Bright MLS to Zillow and others across the industry. We've seen multiple studies here that do actually indicate a higher average sales price on the open market.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you don't want to be the best kept secret at all. And okay, so what else do we have?
So I mentioned Sky. AI staging and redesign is a fun one. A lot of agents love this. We did go live about a week ago. We've been testing in Toronto, where you can take a property, restyle it, redesign it instantly, and then ultimately we acquired a company about 3 months ago called Bosscat Home Services, Bosscat Technologies.
Okay.
Are you
I have
familiar
not
with
used
them?
them? No.
Okay, so
I've used a couple different virtual stagers, but that's not
so
one of them.
Bosscat's more of what they do is from the inspection process, or when the moment the inspection comes in, Bosscat will automatically pull that into a technology platform that will then take local labor, local cost of goods. It will take all of the information from the inspection and create transparency between the buyer and the seller on what is right or wrong with that home. Now, the inspections are very technical, right? When you have an inspection, it might be like, I'll just use a simple example, but like, let's say the HVAC system is really laboring and it's on its, end of life. But it doesn't need to be replaced. It just tells you what's wrong with it. It doesn't actually say, I have to replace this and it's going to cost me this much money. That's where Bosscat picks up the story. And so it will come in, create estimates on all of the repairs from the inspection and do it automatically.
Nice.
And then it will say, all right, this home has 5 repairs. It's going to cost an average of $5,000, or in the case of HVAC, it'd be a little more. But
I wish.
But ultimately, it creates that transparency, and the transparency and the speed of which the results are delivered helps to create an environment where the transaction is just more clear. And so we see, on average, agents that use Bosscat and get the estimates will reduce the time to close by about 2 weeks, because there's less back and forth between the buyers and the sellers in the transaction process. And that's where about 40% of deals fall through, or when they fall through.
True.
It's because of just miscommunications and disconnects. And buyers get spooked and then they move on.
They get scared.
So that's what Bosscat does now. And I'm telling you these stories because this is actually, you're going to see these three weave together now. In 4 markets across the United States, Washington, D.C., Phoenix, Denver, and Atlanta right now. We're adding a lot more coming soon. We are actually doing the repairs. So the moment the inspection comes in, instant estimate, let's say their front door needs to be replaced, for a security perspective. Now our team will send a truck out, will actually do the repairs, and we'll do that within 24 hours. So now you're really streamlining that transaction process. So we're excited that we have launched now in 3 markets as of tomorrow. So we will be launching tomorrow, and then another market next week, and then we'll be adding about 10 or 12 more. And we can scale this across the whole nation. We're just making sure that we're getting all of the technology in place. Now, think of that story for a moment. I went from AI staging to instant estimates to repairs. Now, if you take those things and you start to weave them together, imagine a world where a consumer can just visualize anything inside of their home, see how much it costs to do that, and click a button to get it repaired. Wow. That's the future of where we're going, the future of home ownership. And brought to you by REMAX, it's going to be our secret weapon, where it's like, we have all of these resources to help the consumer, not only during the transaction, but long after as well.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting development at REMAX. And I'll be showing off some of that on stage.
Oh, fun.
This week.
That really makes us full service, though. And I don't know of any other brokerages that have gone that far.
No.
I can't. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of some of our competitors, and none of them offer that full service transparency. And I can speak truthfully, and so in our market, we do a ton of property management. And one of the ways and the reasons I win listings all the time is I have that access to contractors and things like that. And we can get things done fast. But most agents struggle finding really good, solid labor is one of the hardest things as an agent if you don't have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So this is opening a whole nother tool belt for them.
The neat thing is with the inspection data, we
Yes.
know SKUs on appliances. We know ages of roofs and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so we actually are sitting on a gold mine of data now. We have 660,000 plus homes with all of their inventory cataloged.
Yeah.
And so we'll be able to know, hey, this roof, well, when I bought the house, maybe it was fine, but now we're getting at its end of life or its HVAC system or whatever it may be. So that data is very fruitful, so we can make our agents and brokers more intelligent as well. And we can be like, hey, you should reach out, and if you have a roofer, this might be a good time to introduce them, and proactively do that rather than waiting for something to break.
Yeah.
And so that peace of mind will be something that we can give better than anybody else in the industry.
For the follow-up too. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Wow, my mind is going a mile a minute. You're also, I'm sitting here thinking, now I have to change my entire listing presentation. Like, there's so much more to offer, which is really exciting.
Speaking of listing presentations, so our Master Pitch series started almost exactly a year ago. And that is our competition where we were designing and crafting the best listing presentations from across our network.
Yeah, we did this at Elite Retreat, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Our lecture.
And so, we did. We had a competition.
So fun.
We had a competition at Activate in Canada. We had several. I think we had one at Torchbearers.
Yep.
So a bunch of our events at REMAX. And that was not just a fun thing. It was intentional for us to be able to build the best materials, the best listing presentation. And you're going to see that on display here, where we've got all kinds of cool things from digital systems to video books to new listing presentations, combination of print versions as well. And we really want to elevate how an agent walks into a home and give them the confidence, but also do it with the system in mind. And it's like, here's what you do before, during, after, here's how you track it. And so the master pitch is really elevating how we actually launch this here at R4.
Yeah, I think I just saw, did you see, there was an agent that gave props to that master pitch series. He just won a huge listing, multi-million-dollar listing, and he posted it on social media. It was this week. I'll find it for you.
Okay, great.
But he said, thanks to my experience with the master pitch series, I didn't know that maybe it was Jason Raines, but I'm going to shout him out on the podcast. But I think it was him, and he said, it was my experience at the master pitch series that allowed me to win this listing. That the seller is somebody who's well known in the media industry, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so it's already come in handy.
Nice.
But
very good.
That's really exciting.
I'm pretty excited about our global footprint. It's something that we don't, maybe in our local markets, we don't talk or talk about or utilize as much as we probably should. And so when I came in, it was exactly a year ago, I was at R4, and I went through the Global Referral Exchange here at R4. And you see the pride of these countries and the flags that they're waving around, and they're passing out all kinds of alcohol. And it's like, whoa, I had other meetings to go to. And I was like,
not anymore.
I can't turn them down, But boy, it actually brought tears to my eyes. The fact that I'm a part of such a big global operation. And you think about some of these countries, and this is not just a profession, it's a lifestyle, it's everything to them in some of these countries. And so seeing the pride, but as I'm traveling now across the world, I get to see REMAX signs everywhere.
And your kids do, right?
Because
I was in Ireland, and my parents, my kids are like, Mom, it's your office.
Yes, I love that. Now they kind of joke about it, and they'll be like, "Oh, Dad, REMAX," and they'll like joke about it. But they know how proud I am of it. And then they're pretty proud of it too, because
Yeah.
whenever I get them REMAX shirts, they
Oh
wear
yeah,
them all the time.
my kids do too. They wear it on. They've got REMAX tags on their baseball bags, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards.
But on the global side, we have over half of our network, just about exactly half of our network, in these 120 countries, and yet we did not have all of the tools and resources that they needed even.
Yeah.
And so everything that we're developing at corporate is all built with a global first mindset so that we can empower our global agents as well. I'll give you a few examples. The Marketing Studio, available in multiple languages. Max Engage, available in multiple languages, our industry's first loyalty and rewards app. And then Canva will be available in multiple languages as well. We'll be bundling all three of those things. And for the first time in 52 years, we're announcing here that we'll be launching global listings on REMAX.com.
Nice.
So one
Finally.
website, everybody's
Yes.
been asking
Yes.
for it. And I was floored when I joined. I was like, what do you mean we don't have
Yes.
global listings? And so I was on a crusade, and I was like, we are solving that. And so we're going to show it off here at the conference.
So we're bringing the flags back this year too, right? In the opening ceremony?
Well, we're doing some cool things. Not the flags, but we are doing some other
Okay.
cool things with global. But I'm really excited about global listings and the global toolbox, because it will bring our global operations closer to us.
Yeah.
As you know, Max Refer, also global, available in multiple languages, our referral platform, and AI sits on top of that, and it's generating hundreds, if not thousands now, referrals a month, and that's a lot of global activity inside of our network. If I had to guess, and you hear these stories, like our good friend Nimesh in Houston. Nimesh has already received 10 referrals year to date, and we're still in February. This guy's a rock star. There's people like you that I just hear these stories. I bet if I bottled up the total referral energy or activity in this network, it would be to the tune of, my gut tells me, I think we're 20,000 referrals a month.
Yeah,
at
I would believe
REMAX.
that.
10,000 is probably a safe conservative bet, but I think from what I've heard and the stories, I met a lady at Elite Retreat. We were on our morning walk, and we're out, and she's like, I did 55 deals last year, and 27 of them were from referrals.
Wow.
And I was just floored.
Yeah. I have never totaled my numbers. It is a huge portion of my business. I've never understood why you would not be at a brand. Well, and I'm in a military community, so our people move every 3 years. It's a given. You move every 3 years, and they go all across the country, but they also go all across the globe. So I have people moving to Japan that are investors, and they're like, hey, I want to buy while I'm there because I can, I'll be there for 3 years. I'm going to be a resident. I can buy here. And I don't understand why you would not be at a brand that does not support you across the globe. Those incoming referrals and the ability to have outgoing referrals is huge.
Yes, I do agree. I agree with that. And I would say, because we've been doing this on a global level for so long, I think REMAX agents are just better at referrals.
Yeah.
And it shows it in the numbers with our nearly 2-to-1 productivity advantage over the next brands in our industry. And that's impressive.
I have a good global story. This past year, my co-owner, who's one of our original founding members of our company, was on a cruise, and she was in South America, and she got bit by something, and her leg got infected, and she ended up in the hospital, very sick. And so my CFO and I are looking at each other. We're like, who's getting on a plane to fly down to South America? Because she doesn't speak Spanish, and we don't either, but somebody's got to be down there. And I literally reached out to the global network in REMAX and found an agent whose friend was an anesthesiologist who spoke Spanish, who went into the hospital to check on my co-owner. And I mean, she was really sick, and gave us reports back all through the real estate network of REMAX, the power of REMAX. And my CFO looked at me, and she's like, wow. She's like, you guys really are powerful. And I said, yeah, we're tight. It's tight. REMAX agents just look out for each other, but not just here, all over the globe.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another word of the day, if you will, is momentum. And so, when you came in, or when we opened this conversation, you said, tell us about the playbook. Well, the playbook has added to the momentum.
Yes.
And it really started with the talent. Chris Lim, who just got promoted
promotion
to president.
Yep.
He's amazing. I've known him all the way back to his climb days. And when he and I found out that we were joining or interested in joining, it was that last thing that pushed us both over the edge, because we went, you know what? I'm following you. He's following me. Let's go. We're kind of like yin and yang. I build it. He sells it, kind of thing.
I noticed that at Elite. That's so funny that you say that.
We work really well together. And so, the talent came. Then we had Daniel Dennis, Don Kotick, Tom Flanagan. The list goes on and on and on, with more people got announced this week as well. Really talented people. So the talent is coming. Now it's like we could be selective on the talent side. Yeah. And then we weren't in the brokerage conversations, the conversion conversations, those conversations just before I joined. And now we are, like, our phones are ringing like crazy. Yeah. We can be selective. And so we had an amazing win last year welcoming REMAX Hawaii.
I saw
that was a huge win. And then starting this year with
Canada recently,
1,250 agents. Now, that's important because both of those were conversions, or they walkovers, basically.
Yeah.
We didn't buy them. They just wanted to be at REMAX. And
1,250 agents. Say that again.
Agents, and we have over 90% retention rate. So that is unheard of.
Yeah, that is.
Especially in some rocky political climates and stuff like that between the U.S. and Canada, to keep over 90% of the agents was just fantastic.
Yeah, because that's a scary decision as a broker, to move your brokerage to a whole nother brand.
Yeah.
Everything is changing and shifting, and for 90% of the agents to stay and move.
It was awesome.
It's
what a
huge.
great start to the year.
I know, right?
With more to come. So we're excited. We've been working hard, and we got some stacked up.
Yeah, it does feel like it just keeps coming. The last 15 months, I'd say. Yeah. It just keeps coming, and it's really exciting on this
Momentum's strong, and it's not all brokerage conversions. I just mentioned Canada there, but we also added 6 new countries just in the last couple months as well.
Can you give me those 6?
I can't give them all to you, but Eric will. Libya, Azerbaijan. There is Kota. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kota Daite or something like that.
Nothing like putting you on the spot.
Yeah. There's one that's really hard to pronounce, but 6 new countries. Mongolia was one of them. I wish I knew them all off the top of my head, but that's pretty exciting.
That is
6
awesome.
new countries. And then probably one of my favorite stories was recently we had an expansion in Denver, and it was a top Compass team that came over to REMAX. Now, they came over in a unique scenario. This was an opportunity where they saw where their parent company was going. They saw how they were treating some of the portals. They saw their future. They kind of they said, look, I run my business off of Zillow and Realtor.com. And so they said, we don't want to be at Compass anymore. Our contract's up in 2 months. I met with them, and I was really excited about what their business model was. But we're also thinking outside the box, very unorthodox. And so in this example, I knew that this team was really tightly kind of paired with, or would align with, the Gary Ashton team, or the Ashton Real Estate Group in Nashville, who's the number 1 team in the world for REMAX. But they also operate that way. Very team-centric, very lead-centric. They know their numbers inside and out, and there's nobody better in the industry from that perspective. Yeah. And so the Sandoval team in Denver operated like that. It's like, you guys should at least just meet. And we did something unorthodox, and then Gary Ashton brought them in, went through their Ashton Advanced Training philosophy, and they loved it. And all of a sudden, we made a marriage there, and now they expanded into Denver. And so that was a really cool kind of story about a top team that was really leaning into some of the lead practices, and Gary could really support them. So pretty cool story there.
That's really awesome. And it just shows there's enough business out there for all of us if we're doing it right.
But lots of momentum at REMAX. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what's funny, at Inman, so this is now maybe 2 weeks ago, we were out at Inman. Our competitors are noticing too. And so they're talking about it. We had one of the largest franchises or brands, 2 of them actually, in the industry. And they're talking to us, and they were just like, we cannot believe what you guys have done in the year. And we thought it was a nice compliment coming from a competitor. And one of our people said that, we just wake up, we want to help agents win more listings, save time, make more money. We're very focused on that. And he's like, I didn't think there was that many people out there noticing. And he's like, trust me, everybody's noticing.
That's a huge compliment.
Yes.
Because if you had gone to Inman a year or two ago, I would say they were very pro some of these spin-off internet brokerages,
Yep.
Real and
Yep.
all of the, once upon a time it was EXP, now Real, now
LPT,
yes,
yep,
and
yep.
they weren't real pro traditional brokerages. I'm trying to think of the good ways, gentle way to put it on the podcast, but to win over to get that attention back that speaks volumes.
Last
that
night
people
at
are noticing.
dinner, Josh Bulgren, who's on my team, he's been around
Yep.
quite some time
Yep.
at REMAX. One of the biggest testament is internally in the building, he is more fired up than ever. And last night we were joking around. He was saying a story, and I hope I get this quote right because it's a soundbite. That's a good one. He said something along the lines of, there are more business models now where an agent can save money, and it was like, I wish we just had more business models where agents could save money and fail. And we were just like, oh, yeah, that's pretty impactful to think about it that way.
Yeah.
Because when people do leave REMAX, you see their productivity drop. And so, hey, word to the wise here.
Yeah.
The grass is not greener on the other
is not.
side, especially now with all the momentum and energy and technology and tools.
Yeah, it is awesome. Well, I am really excited about this week. So we have a big week planned. You're really busy.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other plans this week for you?
So I'll be around the future of homeownership a lot. The booth, future of homeownership. I'll be around the REMAX Golf Lifestyles booth as well, or marketplace area. And then we do a lot. I do a lot of innovation, innovation labs. I run 6 innovation groups. I've got 2 or 3 of them this afternoon. I've got 2 tomorrow. But at all 6 of those groups, I'm testing stuff in so that we can continue to run fast. And for the first time, you're going to see stuff that we're testing even. So in our innovation labs in the middle of the marketplace, you're going to see a 6-sided innovation station, and you're going to see 6 pieces of innovation that might not be ready for prime time yet, but we're close. And we've been testing it. And so we want to get agents' feedback. We want to play with it. We want to show some of the cool things. And I think that's been one of the bigger things that I've brought to REMAX is we need to get loud. We needed to get our swagger back. But ultimately, I want to share where we're going. And I don't want to hide it. This is the industry's best kept secret. And even our AI assistant Sky will be able to tell agents from outside of REMAX what REMAX is working on and where we're going, because we think that's cool. We think it's a way that we can ultimately tell our story and align better with the brand or with our brokers. So that's something that you'll see on display here now, and this will be the first time we do this. So pretty cool.
It definitely aligns with all the technology that's been coming out, that we feel it. We as agents and brokers see it on the other side, and this push to new innovation and technology has been really fun, really exciting for us. Nice. Well, I hope you have a great week.
Thank you.
I am really excited. Thank you for sharing everything that REMAX has going on. I couldn't be more excited. We're on the receiving end, so I mean it personally and from the brokerage level. I hope you have a great week. I'm sure I will see you everywhere this week because we're going to be everywhere. But thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for joining us on the podcast. If you are not a REMAX agent, boy, are you missing out, because we are going to have some fun this week. But for all of my viewers, please tune in. We've got agents from all over the globe joining this week. Fun stories, and you'll get to know those industry professionals that are serving you a little bit better. So thanks for joining us, and we'll talk more soon. I'm Amy Dahl, your host of the Dispatch on Purpose.